Horizon Gents and welcome to CG Reaction, and this is my theory about Neanderthals, Salmonella Academy. Yes, another Sam video. I'll make sure that I'll always react to Sam video every day if I can. Sometimes I miss it, but yeah. So I reacted to quite a few by now. Obviously, not all of them, but quite a few. I created a playlist for it. Check the card, check the end card, check the card right now to see the playlist. Sam makes great videos, always a topic that doesn't require long an hour or two of history lesson, but it's always fun topics that he goes into detail, gives his opinion, his take, and it's always funny and educational, I guess. And it's the topic that nobody really talks about, but it's part of history, so I love it. I always learn something from it. So yeah, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, check out the playlist I created in the description. It has all of my videos if you haven't seen my reactions. And yeah, let's watch this video.
Hey kids, remember Neanderthals? Me neither, cause they're dead. Some say they went extinct because of out-competition by Homo sapiens, but personally, I don't subscribe to that notion. I believe that they went extinct primarily because they interbred with early humans.
Alright, I do know something about this. Something, not completely, but I know something about this. I'm gonna talk as the point arises. I'm not saying I know I'm completely accurate, but I have some knowledge about this.
Not because they were inferior survivors. Now, I could ramble on for a couple of hours about the genetic and archaeological evidence for this, but modern experts have already run those points into the ground. Now, instead, I want to bring something totally new to the table that I thought of myself. I call it the sexy Neanderthal theory. Okay, hear me out. From a modern day point of view, this all sounds ridiculous, right? If someone came up to you asking if you wanted to reproduce with a Neanderthal, you'd say no, that's disgusting. Who are you? This is a mall. Where is security? But that's just what society has taught you to believe. It doesn't really reflect the true animal within you. Don't believe me? Take a look at this sculpture. Gross, right? Well, guess what? Cavemen used to whack off to that. They thought it was great. So we're gonna have to put...
Really? Is that true? I didn't know about that. I think he's just making a joke there. Okay, first of all, Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, some of them did mate. That's why lots of people today has Neanderthal DNA in them. So Neanderthal didn't really go extinct. They are just in some of us, I guess. But yeah, as a whole species, yeah, Neanderthals technically did go extinct because nobody has dominating Neanderthal DNA. Some part of it, but not dominating one.
Away all of our deeply rooted cultural ideations for a second, and instead look at things from a purely biological perspective. First, I gotta learn y'all a thing or two about sexual selection. There are two main types of sexual selection. There's intrasexual selection, where members of the same sex compete for dominance, and intersexual selection, where members of one sex are intentionally choosy about who they mate with. Now, most of these are done by most animals to some degree, but with humans and most other mammals, there's a bit of an asymmetry in how either sex performs its selection. Namely, males tend to focus more on intrasexual selection, while females prioritize intersexual selection. This isn't just me stereotyping, I swear. There's actually an evolutionary reason for this. See, whereas males barely invest anything at all into mating in the absence of monogamous culture, childbearing is a huge deal to females, using up a lot of resources, so it only makes sense that males would want to be more promiscuous and females...
So that's how it used to be in the past. Clearly it's not today, but that's how it used to be in past. That, threatening labor and things like that. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's risky mating with somebody. I mean, whole, birth process is really dangerous, obviously. Especially at the, past times. So, obviously this is not true currently. Nobody thinks this as an issue and be choosy because of that. I don't know what is the case today. I mean, there is definitely something like this today. I mean, men fight over women more than women do. Women are more, more are the one who chooses who to go out on date with or not. And obviously, it's not this reason today. Maybe it's just, I don't know what the reason is. I don't know. Men are more horny than women. I don't know. Or maybe this just, this past thing just evolutionary just carries over to your DNA, so it's just carrying over to us, who knows. But yeah, definitely men fight over women more than women ever does. You don't find a few women standing on somewhere and just hitting on some man, I guess. That's always the other way around.
More selective. So to recap, The Bachelorette, that's an accurate portrayal of our most basic instincts. On the other hand, if The Bachelor were to be done with a bunch of cavemen, there wouldn't be this season-long show. Just a 5-hour special where The Bachelor bangs every contestant at once, which, in all fairness, would still be higher quality entertainment than the show we have now. Anyway, what's all this got to do with Neanderthals, you ask?
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens, the male Neanderthals morphology makes it so that they would be able to outman the male Homo sapiens, both intrasexually and intersexually. For one, their thick bones and heavy joints suggest that they had way more muscle mass than humans of the day.
It's not just that, they looked different. They were, the proportion was different. Look at that. Look at the, length of this and this compared to theirs. It's just, even their, body proportional was different. They just looked different. But yeah, in the end, they were really strong. That was one of the main thing. They had more success with larger animals. They were hunting large mammoths and things more easily. But yeah, they were big,
putting them at a huge advantage both in asserting dominance and in appearing attractive. Secondly, their facial features exaggerate all the characteristics that makes a face appear male in humans, with square, well-defined jaws and heavy brow lines, further increasing their appeal to humans.
Yeah, okay, that's really not true. I mean, when you see in men about jaws and things, it's subtle things, bit differences. But it's a massive difference, a really big jaw, it just looks alien-like. So, no Homo sapiens would see Neanderthal like, that's hot. No, that's just a bit too much. So I don't know if they were better looking to Homo sapiens. I mean, I highly doubt that's the case. But yeah, apart from looking, but strength-wise, they were stronger, damn stronger.
Human females. Broad shoulders, that's hot. Also, their large chest cavities and broad nasal passages would make it so that their vocalization
Yeah, they had broad shoulders, also rib cage. Look at that. It started to get wider in the midsection. So, it's not like broad shoulders in humans. They would look different. They would be stronger, but I'm not saying that, they would look better as a big person.
would be much louder than humans, adding still to their intimidation factor. So basically, when the male Neanderthals strut into a human village, they'd be guaranteed Casanova, ensuring that they would interbreed. But what about the Neanderthal females, you ask? If the men are more manly by default, surely the women would conversely be more man-ish. One would think that this homeliness would counteract the reproductive success of their male counterparts, but this is where that whole sexual asymmetry thing comes in. Cause whereas the human females would be selective towards the Neanderthals, the males don't really care. They're gonna take what they can get. Their women already waltzed off with those jabronis. They're lonely. What's a guy gotta lose? So in the end, when a population of humans meets a population of Neanderthals, there'd actually be an increased chance of genetic admixture, thereby making extinction through interbreeding seem like a much more plausible outcome for the Neanderthals. If the Nobel Committee is watching, I'd like my prize sent to this address. Thank you.
Yeah, Nobel Committee is gonna come there to punch you in the face. No, that's not true. Okay, here's the thing. Yes, there was some interbreeding between Homo sapiens and Neanderthal, but not at the larger scale. Just some. Neanderthals were mostly in Europe, while Homo sapiens, us, were mostly in Africa. And in Europe, because of Ice Age, lots of their food went extinct. So because of them, most of them starved. And there is a talk that Homo sapiens at the time were a bit more advanced. They know how to sew, and they had a bit of network between other tribes. So Homo sapiens survived, especially being in Africa. Obviously, there is a lot of things there that you could eat, so they had more supplies. So Neanderthals, some of them did travel place to place and meet Homo sapiens and interbreed. That's why some people has Neanderthal DNA today. But yeah, most of them probably went starved and just got extinct because of Ice Age. That's just simply it. It's not like Neanderthals and Homo sapiens just basically interbred and we are today them 50% Neanderthal, 50% Homo sapien. That's not the case. Believe me, if that were the case, average height of everybody in the world would be 6.5 feet, and we will be humongous. But no, that's not the case. Some of them are. I mean, there are people you see and just naturally they are just big and just really thick. Whether they work out more or not, they are just stronger. You could see that they must have some form of Neanderthal DNAs. So yeah. All right, people. This was one of the more, joke type of video from Sam. I've not seen many of them, but yeah, this was still fun. And yeah, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my other reactions in the description. There's a playlist. Check the end card. Check the card for other playlist. And I'll see you next time.